Today we're going to be covering hip external rotation. This can be used as an alternative to the 90-90 if you can't get into that positioning. So all you're going to need is a table or an elevated platform so that you can place your leg right on top here. In this position, you want to make sure that the front of the knee is going to be lined up to the front of that ASIS or that front bone in your hip. If not, you can take that bottom leg and just shift your body over so that it shoots right out from that positioning. If you're unable to place your leg up on this elevated platform, just elevate the bottom leg too as well so that you get a little bit higher. If your knee is super off the table, take a block or something underneath just so that you can support that knee and it doesn't cause too much pressure into that positioning too as well, okay? In this, you want to first find a passive stretch. The stretch should be somewhere along this outer edge here. In order to do that, I don't want you to think about folding forward. Instead, think about trying to lead with that chest. Think about pushing your belly button forward to create more of a stretch here. Other thing that you can think about is using your knee and think about trying to push it straight back behind you. At the same time, you're trying to lift your butt up towards the ceiling, so you end up arching your back slightly to create a bowing effect into this outer glute area here, okay? Once you've established that passive stretch and it's somewhere that you can moderately handle, anywhere between like a 5 or 8 intensity out of 10, just be there and just start to relax into that stretch positioning. There might be some neural tension initially on that prevents you from going further. It might feel really intense, but just try to breathe through it and it will get better. After you've held this stretch for 2 minutes at least, what we can start to do is get into a little bit of strengthening work into this bottom side as well as this top side. And we're going to use PAILs and rails as a way to do this. PAIL stands for progressive angular isometric loading. Rails is regressive angular isometric loading. PAILs is going to be this bottom side here. Rails is going to be this top side here, which is going to be the thing that's going to be pulling us into more external rotation. Okay? So let's assume that we've held this stretch for about 2 minutes. You're going to think about trying to press through the table with your foot and ankle to create an internal rotation movement, which is, imagine that the table wasn't here, my foot would go through the ground and out that way. That would create internal rotation, which is going to use the side muscles here to create that movement. Okay, so breathe in, irradiate tension, think about trying to use your hands to generate extra force. Think of 10% through that foot, that heel, and see how that feels. If 10% feels good for you, then you can slowly ramp up that intensity. 20, 30, 40, all the way up to 100%, your safest, greatest effort, and you're going to hold for the prescribed duration. You should be feeling that contraction somewhere along this outer edge here, okay? After you've held for that prescribed duration, you're going to slowly ramp down the intensity from 100, 90, 80, all the way down to 0. Once you've done that, you have 2 options. The first one is you can just go into a little bit of a deeper passive stretch, and you're going to hold that passive stretch until you feel ready to begin another set of PAILs, right? The second option is right after the PAILs and you've ramped all the way down, you can create a rails contraction, which is now thinking of trying to use this inside tissue stuff here to pull yourself deeper into hip external rotation, okay? So you're going to think of trying to lift the heel off the ground or the table. It's not going to move because you're going to be at your end range. At the same time of you trying to lift the heel, you're going to think of trying to pull your body closer into hip external rotation, okay? Right after that PAILs, you breathe in and rails contraction, pull, and you're going to keep trying to pull yourself deeper into hip external rotation for the prescribed duration. Then you'd relax into your new passive stretch and you'd hold there and you'd rest until you feel ready to begin your second set of PAILs and then into another set of rails, okay? Give this a shot. Let me know what you all think.